tell me about the concept of idea sex.
Yeah, so
this is yours, right?
Yeah, so
you trademark that?
No, I a lot of people have actually talked about the idea that, let's say, if you combine, music is such a great example. So, take the rap group, the Fugees. Okay, I remember at one point they did a rap song to the theme song of the movie Saturday Night Fever. Okay, Staying Alive. Okay, which was such a mega hit in the '70s. It was a I'm going to say it was only an okay rap song, but it's the Fugees combining rap with Staying Alive. So that's Idea Sex. And it was a mega hit, of course, because you can't. So another thing is, for me, for instance, I was really skilled at computers and the internet. And then I also because I had lost so much money, I made it a concerted effort to get much, much better at managing my own money. Like this, I devoted my life to it for years and years and years. So at one point, I decided, you know what? Let's combine this knowledge I have of computers and the internet and programming and this knowledge I have of finance and combine them together and make a website that actually helps people in finance. And so once you combine two ideas, even if I wasn't the best in the world here and I wasn't the best in the world here, once you have an intersection, you're the best in the world at the intersection. And so then I was able to create a site that had 1 million users a month. And for all I know, still does have 1 million users a month. So when you combine ideas like that, again, you become the best in the world at the intersection. So the more ideas you find that you can combine, the higher probability that you're the best in the world at the intersection. So that's almost how you shortcut this 10,000 hour rule. So the famous Malcolm Gladwell, or it comes from even before that, but the 10,000 hour rule, that it takes 10,000 hours to master something.
Yeah, or
so,
Robert Greene talked about it in his
yes.
book Mastery as well, right.
Right, but Robert Greene seldom talks about taking the intersection of different ideas to really master something. So a great example might be, and we'll see if she goes through with this, but Serena Williams, right, just won Wimbledon. Yeah. Won the Grand Slam, maybe the best female tennis player of all time. She happens to love fashion.
Yeah, she's had a brand for a while, hasn't she?
Yeah. And so suddenly she becomes known. She's like the first female tennis player who becomes known for having all these colorful tennis outfits. And then when she eventually retires from tennis, maybe she'll start doing that full time. She'll take the intersection and she'll be the best in the world at designing, women's tennis outfits or some other fashion related to sports. So that's an example of idea sex that could be potentially very lucrative. Okay. So, but I always find that a great example is, Facebook. Okay, Facebook. There already was or there already were social networks, right? We could list them all: MySpace, Friendster, GeoCities, whatever. I'm trying to think of some others. There were like 3 others before that, and there already were social networks. But what did Mark Zuckerberg do was he combined the notion of a social network with the notion of true identity and authentication. So you had to, at least initially, you had to have a real identity, at a school. You had to be at a .edu initially. Yeah. So you had to have a real identity to join Facebook. And so it was the first social network that combined social networks with true identity. And so now it became the best. How did MySpace become the best before that? Again, it was the 5th social network out there, but they combined social networks with fan clubs for musicians. And then bam, that's how they became huge. Google combined search engines with, how do we know, the real algorithm that Larry Page was working on was, how do we know what scientific paper is more important than what other scientific paper? So that was the real research project. But he combined that with the notion of, let's just do it with web pages in general, the same algorithm, and he came up with Google. So almost all of these things that are now the best things ever are combinations of ideas.
Right. You're in the media business now, more or less, it seems. You write books, you publish a blog, you do amazing podcasts. And you used to be starting companies, an entrepreneur and making these products and selling them. And I mean, that word serial entrepreneur gets tossed around a lot in the Valley and even here, but you really were. I mean, you repeated execution, whether that's ideas or not, you did it. Do you miss being just an entrepreneur, or do you agree that you're kind of in the media business now? To watch the rest of this fascinating interview, click on the link below and go to londonreelacademy.com. There you can sign in with your social media login and watch the rest of the episode for free, along with all of our episodes on London Real, my webinars, and all of our premium content, all located over at londonreelacademy.com. So click on the link below, you'll be directed there and you can watch the rest of this fascinating interview, and I'll see you there.